One of the most common food items consumed in America, pizza, is one with many varieties and styles. And one school district is taking on that industry with the daunting task in one of the most challenging arenas for pizza. Today we're in West New York, just across the Hudson River in New Jersey, one of the most highly compact and diverse communities in all of America. This is where we meet an ambitious and daring food service director, Sal Valenza, a healthy food advocate through and through. He's been to the White House, he's met a president in his attempt to create better food for kids. Let's go. Hey Sal, it's good to meet you.
Scott, good to see you.
Hey, I love the view.
You can't beat it.
So I hear you're a big proponent of buying local.
Yes, we are. We've been doing farm to school here in New Jersey. We started about 15 years ago, and we got to farm to school by way of Vermont through Arkansas. We were at an Alliance for a Healthier Generation meeting, and I saw what Vermont Feed was doing, and it was just amazing to me. And I thought, I'm in the Garden State. We really need to figure out how to get this food into our schools. So we started working with farmers and with distributors, and we were able to get food into schools, and we were able to show kids where their food came from. I work in West New York. There's just lots of asphalt and big buildings, and we were able to show these kids how asparagus grows, how lettuce grows, and really get them into eating fresher, healthier foods. And our mission has always been to get kids food that's delicious and healthy. So it's natural for us to want to bring food from the Garden State back here to West New York.
And that made you look even closer to home for buying local goods?
Well, what we've been trying to work out is this thing that we call hyper-local purchasing. I could tell you all about it, but it's easier if we just go for a walk and I show you. So Scott, there's Petite Bee Baker. It's one of the businesses we talked about earlier.
Yeah, that's where you get your baguettes from.
Yeah, so in our mission to get kids food that's delicious and healthy, we've got some really great community partners involved.
It's always great to buy local.
Yep, we're trying to go hyper. I think Cammie might be in. We can go and talk to her for a minute. How's that?
Sounds good.
Hi, Cammie.
Good morning, Sal.
This is Scott.
Hi, Scott. Nice to meet you.
My pleasure.
Scott, Cammie's our incredible French baker.
You want to come and see the shop?
I met Cammie here during the pandemic, and we started to talk about what she was doing, what we do in the schools, and we decided together that we needed to have a partnership and work together to do things for the kids in the community.
Yeah, Sal came to see me and he told me he wanted some fresh French baguette for his high school. And for the sandwich program, he needs everything to be 51% and more whole wheat. So we worked together to find a good recipe to get the fresh baguette every day for the high school.
Yeah, one of the great things was because we're working with a small business, we were able to tweak the size of the bread. We were able to tweak the texture of the bread. And it really worked out great because Cammie would come back and say, oh, I like this one, or I think the kids will like that one better. So it really worked well to have that flexibility. And what's happened now, we started a coffee program this year. And Cammie said, well, why don't you do some croissants? So she came up with some great ideas.
The high school also have croissant, chocolate croissant, and guava and cheese. Everything still using 51% whole wheat. And we only make it for them right now because they are a special customer.
Yes. And the best part about it is we just wanted to make sure that we were really authentic to what we wanted to do. And I said, I want the bread to look like the bread I saw when I was at the metro station in Paris. As a partnership, we're making sure that we're both getting what we need out of it.
I love that I know what the kids are eating every day. I know exactly what I put in it, how long it takes, what we do. We bake it every day for them. So I love knowing what they're eating and I know it's good.
Hey, Cammie, thank you for showing us the shop today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for coming. My pleasure.
So I hear you worked with the Alliance for a Healthier Generation.
Yeah, we were one of the early adopters with the Alliance. We were able to do some great things around wellness in schools and just making sure that meals were great for kids. And we were lucky. We got President Clinton to come and visit us at number 2 school down here.
So what are you guys pushing for now?
Right now, everybody's pushing for universal meals. It just seems like the logical thing to do, and it's the right thing to do for the kids.
So is this a Mexican bakery you're working with?
Yeah, we've been working with them for about a year since the pandemic ended. I think Victor might be in. You want to go see him?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, cool. Hey, Victor.
So,
How are you?
good to see you.
I want you to meet my friend Scott.
Hey, Victor. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Welcome.
Sal, how did you get connected to Victor?
I was walking down the street and I was thinking about the new sandwich program we were going to make, and it was a Mexican sandwich program. And I saw the sign for the bakery and I thought, well, let me go in there and see if they make the bread I need. That's how I met Victor, and that's how this all started.
So, Victor, tell me about your bakery.
We make around 1,000 pieces of bread every day, and we make everything from scratch. We make cheleras, hamburgers, mini hamburgers, and semitas for soul.
So it's a funny story. Victor started with us with the telera rolls, and then we saw these semitas, and we're like, oh, we got to try that too. One day he sent the semita, and instead of being this big, it was this big. And my ladies, being school lunch ladies, said, oh, we'll make hamburgers on those. So they turned them into my hamburger buns. Kids loved them. So I had to call Victor back and say, you made a mistake today, but now you got a new product. So it's worked out really well.
That's a fantastic story. You guys have some awesome things here, and I think it's wonderful that you can work with the school system. Got some lucky kids. And being in the New York City area, known for their pizza, it gave Sal an idea on how to merge both hyper-local purchasing with an idea that he's had for a while.
So Scott, as we started working with these local businesses, a voice popped into my head and said, pizza. And it was time. We decided we were going to make the best pizza in secondary schools in the whole country.
A good pizza starts with a good foundation. So we head over to Sal's Pizzeria to see where the dough is made. Hey Sal, look, it's Sal's Pizza Bar. Do you own that?
I wish I did. It's a second generation pizzeria run by the same family since 1972. So Dom and Rocco run the joint now.
Hey Sal, how are you?
I'm good. This is Scott Dominic.
Hey Scott, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Dominic. Tell me about Sal's Pizzeria.
Well, Sal's has been here since 1972. My dad immigrated from Italy. We've been serving the community ever since. Italian dishes, fresh quality pizza.
Now, I know you work closely with Sal. What do you provide the school system?
We make fresh dough for Sal, quality dough, 51% whole grain for the kids to have some good pizza. I mean, back in the day when I went to school, pizza was frozen. You could throw it up against the wall, come back at you, the pits.
We pick the dough up every morning. It's an extra step for us, but we think it's worth it because we're able to get kids fresh pizza dough daily, and that's what they deserve.
The pizza dough balls get delivered from Sal's Pizzeria. They get delivered to all 3 of our schools. We let it rest a little bit, and we stretch it out, put it in the pan, get it ready for the sauce. It's time to make pizza.
The next step in the process is the sauce, made in-house by the staff. We catch up with Joe and Jaime, who make it for the school district every week. Tell me about your great pizza sauce.
We make an awesome pizza sauce here. It's done weekly with fresh ingredients.
Tell me about the process in making it.
Well, we get the delivery of fresh tomatoes. We'll dice them, season them, roast them in the oven. While we roasted them, we'll saute in onions, garlic, and fresh basil. We throw everything in the kettle and we'll cook it for a couple hours before we serve it.
Tell me what you do during the winter.
During the winter, it's hard to get fresh tomatoes. So we'll get canned tomatoes from Jersey and we'll make our sauce that way. It doesn't change the flavor and it's still awesome.
So with the dough and sauce made, the only thing left to do is to top it all off.
We would love to grow our toppings right here in West New York, but our biggest crop is blacktop. So we have to work with aggregators who bring us fresh produce, fresh vegetables from all over the state. One of those companies that we've been working with for a long time is Zone 7.
So Beth, I hear you're the mother of Farm to School in New Jersey. Tell me how they got started.
Oh, thank you for that. I worked with a bunch of people to create a nonprofit in 2008, and we were really passionate about bringing local food to schools. We wanted to introduce the idea that local foods could be centered in the school meals, and we created a nonprofit in 2008, which turned into the State Department of Agriculture absorbing that program in 2015, and that has just blown up the program. 15 years on, schools are really buying local product.
I know you work closely with Sal. Tell me what you provide the school system.
We have a broad line of produce because New Jersey is the garden state, of course, and we also offer grains, mushrooms, cheese, and proteins.
So with all the ingredients in place, the kitchen staff at each school is given the task to put it all together to make the greatest pizza ever.
And this is where they shine. They are the best.
And the results speak for themselves.
There's no one doing what we do here in West New York, I believe. We've been able to source dough locally, tomatoes locally. If we could make the cheese, we would. I'm very happy with what we've been able to accomplish with the help of our community. It's been incredible, and it's been a great ride so far. Pizza's a circle. There's no beginning and there's no end. And this hunt is not going to end for a while. We're going to get to the point where no one can question the fact that we have the best pizza in the country.
School support isn't a one-way street. It means the community supports the school and the school supports the community. 2 weeks before we were scheduled to come out and tell Sal's story, a 5-alarm fire broke out on the morning of February 8th.
And you're looking at live pictures from Newscopter 7.
Sal's Pizzeria was caught in that blaze.
Jersey, take a look at these live pictures here. We're in the 6100 block of Bergen Line Avenue in West New York.
February 8th, I got a phone call around 4:30 a.m. About some smokes going off in the pizzeria. I was alarmed originally, but I didn't think much of it. I got a phone call from my dad, he was on site, and said there's a bad fire. It's about 5 stores down, but we should be okay. But about a half hour later, I got another phone call saying I better get down here, that the fire is spreading fast. It was very very hard to see, come down here and see the place in flames. And my dad actually had a fire in '78, which took down the whole pizzeria. But unfortunately, this time it wasn't so bad. But the smoke and water damage is causing us to gut the place and rebuild.
So when we heard about the fire, we wanted to make sure that we honored our partnership. So I got in touch with the guys, with Dom and Rocco, and said, what can we do? And they said, we're working on figuring out a new spot. Just give us a day or two. We offered to hire their employees if we needed to.
I don't know how long we'll be closed, but fortunately enough, I have a friend where I can make the dough for the school system, so they can still have my dough daily and the fresh pizza that we provide them for the school system.
So I feel really great about the fact that we were able to give to them, they were able to give to us, and that's how a partnership should really work.
These community partnerships are very important because it supports the local business and it supports the residents in our community. Our children are eating food from local businesses, from our local consumers, and so they're familiar with it. They get to experience new dishes, new cuisines.
The reason that hyperlocal purchasing is important to me is because I look at it as a stimulus package for the whole community. We're able to bring back money to buy local food, to hire people from the local community, and make sure that our kids are getting food that is delicious and healthy all the time. So it's a win-win for everybody. The more stuff I can buy here in town, the more money I bring in, the more people that are affected by it, and it's just a great thing for us to be able to do.
So as our time in West New York draws to a close, it was amazing to see how Sal, his staff, local community members, and businesses work together to create the best pizza for the kids. Until next time, West New York, thanks for the free lunch.